Welcome to our channel, USA Coin Spot. Think your old coins are worthless? Think again, some could be worth thousands. Don't miss out on this hidden treasure. Top 1. Hello coin collectors and enthusiasts, to a thrilling dive into one of the most coveted pieces of US currency ever minted, the American Roosevelt dime of 1965. In this video, we're going to uncover why this coin is such a sought-after treasure, how it's tied to history, and most importantly, how its value has skyrocketed over time. If you're passionate about rare coins or looking to make a fortune, this video is for you. Stick around, because we're about to reveal how you could potentially find a 1965 Roosevelt dime worth up to a jaw-dropping $20,000 to $45,000. Let's start by exploring the significance of the 1965 Roosevelt dime. In 1965, the U.S. government made a huge shift in coin production. The silver content in the dime was removed, replaced with a copper-nickel alloy, making the 1965 Roosevelt dime a bit different from its predecessors. But here's where things get interesting. The 1965 dime was a turning point in history, marking the end of a long era where U.S. coins contained precious metals like silver. However, not every 1965 Roosevelt dime is the same. Some of these coins were released in special proof sets, and that's where the real magic happens. What's a proof set, you ask? Proof sets are a specific type of coin collection created by the U.S. Mint. These sets are produced with special dyes and processes to give the coins a high-quality, mirror-like finish. These proof coins were never meant for circulation. They were made for collectors, which makes them highly prized today. But here's the catch. Not all proof sets or coins from 1965 are worth a fortune. The true value comes when you find one with rare qualities and certain characteristics that make it incredibly desirable among collectors. We're talking about a few pristine specimens that hold the key to serious wealth. Now, let's talk about value. The 1965 Roosevelt dime from a proof set has been known to fetch staggering amounts in the marketplace. You might be wondering, why would anyone pay tens of thousands of dollars for a coin worth just 10 cents when it was first released? Well, let me tell you, it's not just the dime's face value we're talking about. It's the rarity, the condition, and the historical context that drives its value. First, let's consider the coin's condition. Coins that have been carefully preserved and graded by professionals can skyrocket in price. The higher the grade, the higher the value. If your 1965 Roosevelt dime has been kept in perfect condition, it could potentially be worth up to $20,000 to $45,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. But this isn't a random guess. These are real prices that collectors are paying for these rare gems. Imagine holding a coin that could pay off a mortgage or fund your dreams of travel and luxury. It's not just a piece of history, it's an opportunity. Next, rarity plays a massive role. The rarity of a coin is often determined by how many were produced and how many have survived the test of time in pristine condition. In the case of the 1965 Roosevelt dime, finding a perfect specimen is not easy. These coins were mass-produced for circulation, but the proof versions were fewer and much more carefully handled. The chance of finding one of these dimes in near-perfect condition is rare, and that's exactly why they command such high prices today. So, how do you know if you have a 1965 Roosevelt dime worth tens of thousands of dollars? First, take a close look at the coin. Check the edges for any signs of wear, especially if it's been in circulation. If your coin is shiny with little to no wear, you're on the right track. The next step is to have the coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. These companies will evaluate the coin's quality and assign it a grade, which directly impacts its market value. The excitement doesn't stop there. We also need to factor in the demand from collectors. The Roosevelt dime is an iconic piece of U.S. currency, and its popularity continues to grow. Collectors and investors alike are always on the lookout for the next big find, and the 1965 Roosevelt dime from a proof set is at the top of their wish lists. This isn't just a fleeting trend. It's a lasting interest in a coin that represents a turning point in American history. If you think you've got one of these rare coins in your collection, you might want to have it appraised. The last thing you want is to let a hidden treasure sit in your drawer, unnoticed, when it could be worth a small fortune. Coins like the 1965 Roosevelt dime are not just valuable, they're part of a vibrant community of collectors who share an unrelenting passion for history and numismatics. And who knows, you could be sitting on a treasure chest worth as much as $20,000 to $45,000. So, there you have it. The 1965 Roosevelt dime is much more than just a coin. It's a piece of history, a rare collectible, and potentially a goldmine. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting your numismatic journey, this coin should be at the top of your radar. Keep your eyes peeled, and if you're lucky enough to find one of these incredible dimes, you could be holding a fortune in your hands. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more exciting insights into the world of rare coins and collectibles. Who knows what hidden treasures we'll discover next? Stay tuned. Top 2. Welcome to another exciting episode where we unlock the secrets behind one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatics, the 1967 American Roosevelt dime. If you're a collector or just someone who loves discovering hidden treasures in the world of rare coins, you're in for a real treat. Today, we're diving deep into the value and significance of this incredible coin. Whether you've got one lying around in your collection or you're considering starting your own search for this prized dime, you'll want to stick around because what we're about to reveal could change your perspective on coin collecting forever. The 1967 Roosevelt dime is a piece of American history, and it carries more value than just its initial face value of 10 cents. Produced during the tail end of the 1960s, this dime comes with a fascinating background. By 1967, the U.S. Mint had already moved away from using silver in most circulating coins, but there was a special batch of dimes made for collectors, the proof sets. These were coins struck with incredible precision, designed to be a showcase of minting excellence, with a high-quality finish that sets them apart from the standard circulated coins. Now, you might be asking, why is the 1967 Roosevelt dime so special, and why are collectors willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars for it? Let's break it down. The key lies in the limited production of proof coins and their exceptional quality. The 1967 proof dimes were not released into circulation. They were exclusively intended for collectors who had ordered proof sets directly from the U.S. Mint. That makes them rare right off the bat. But rarity alone doesn't explain the astronomical price tag this coin can fetch. No, it's the combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand that makes the 1967 Roosevelt dime so valuable today. When we talk about the 1967 Roosevelt dime being worth $20,000 to $43,000, we're not exaggerating. These are real prices seen in the marketplace for flawless specimens. That's right, if you're lucky enough to find a high-quality, well-preserved proof set coin, you could be holding a hidden fortune in your hands. Now, let's talk about condition because that's where things get really interesting. You see, in coin collecting, the grade or condition of the coin can make a world of difference in its value. Proof coins from the 1967 set, especially those with pristine, mirror-like surfaces and zero imperfections, are highly prized by collectors. Coins that have been graded by top professional grading services like NGC or PCGS can fetch significantly higher prices because collectors trust these services to accurately assess the condition of the coin. If your 1967 Roosevelt dime gets a top grade, such as PR 70 or PR 69, you could be looking at an extremely valuable asset. So, what makes this particular dime from 1967 so desirable? It's all about the history behind it. This coin was struck during a period when the U.S. Mint was transitioning away from using precious metals, like silver, in its coinage. While many coins from the era were produced in copper-nickel alloys, the 1967 proof dimes have that special, almost otherworldly shine that marks them as part of a unique era in American coin production. That's something collectors have recognized and chased after for decades, pushing demand up, which in turn drives the value. The value of the 1967 Roosevelt dime can also be attributed to the sheer scarcity of coins that remain in impeccable condition. Many of these coins were stored away in proof sets and kept in protective packaging, but over the years, some have been damaged or lost. So, when you find a 1967 Roosevelt dime in mint condition, it's a rare gem, and people are willing to pay top dollar for it. Whether you're selling to a private buyer or through an auction, the competition for these coins can drive prices up, with high-end pieces reaching $20,000 to $43,000. If you're wondering how to determine if your 1967 Roosevelt dime is worth this kind of money, you'll need to consider several factors. First, check the coin's condition. Is it shiny with a flawless surface? Does it have any signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration? The less wear, the more valuable it becomes. Next, it's a good idea to have it graded by a professional service. These experts can evaluate the quality of your coin, and if it meets the highest standards, you could be looking at a life-changing payout. Don't forget about the demand factor. As the coin market continues to grow, there are always collectors looking for rare and high-quality pieces to complete their collections. The 1967 Roosevelt dime is no exception. Investors and collectors alike are always on the lookout for pristine proof coins that represent a period in history. With such a strong market for these coins, your 1967 Roosevelt dime could be your ticket to a major windfall. So, if you've got a 1967 Roosevelt dime in your collection or you're considering adding one to your portfolio, don't overlook its potential value. This little dime is more than just a piece of currency. It's a potential investment worth tens of thousands of dollars. If you have one in perfect condition, it could be worth as much as $20,000 to $43,000, depending on its grade and demand in the market. Imagine having a coin worth more than many people's cars, vacations, or even homes. That's the kind of treasure a 1967 Roosevelt dime can represent. Thank you for joining us today as we uncovered the incredible value of the 1967 Roosevelt dime. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on more rare coin insights and tips. Who knows, the next big treasure could be sitting right in your collection. Keep hunting, keep collecting, and stay tuned for more thrilling episodes. Top 3. Hello collectors and enthusiasts. To today's deep dive into one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in American history, the 1974 American Roosevelt dime. If you thought this dime was just a run-of-the-mill 10-cent piece, think again. We're about to reveal why this particular coin has captivated collectors for decades and how it could potentially fetch a jaw-dropping price. Stick around, because you're going to learn how the 1974 Roosevelt dime from a proof set could be worth anywhere between $20,000 to $33,000. And that's no exaggeration. Let's kick things off by taking a closer look at the history behind this coin. The Roosevelt dime has long been a favorite of collectors, but the 1974 version, especially from a proof set, holds a unique place in the hearts of numismatists. Produced by the U.S. Mint in 1974, this coin was part of the official proof sets created for collectors and investors, not for regular circulation. Unlike the typical dimes you'd find in your pocket, these proof dimes were meticulously struck with polished dies to create a mirror-like finish, making them stand out in both appearance and value. But why are these proof dimes worth so much? The key factor here is rarity. These proof sets were only available through the U.S. Mint, meaning they were produced in limited quantities. Unlike standard circulating coins that flooded the economy, these special sets were made in smaller numbers and were meant to be treasured by collectors. Over time, as these coins have been bought, sold, and traded, only the finest examples have survived. And that's where the real value lies. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1974 Roosevelt dime. As we mentioned earlier, the coin can fetch anywhere between $20,000 to $33,000 if it's in excellent condition. Why? Because it's not just the coin itself that makes it valuable, it's the combination of rarity, condition, and the ever-growing demand for high-quality proof coins. For those who understand the world of coin collecting, this dime is much more than just a piece of currency. It's an opportunity to own a piece of American history that few people ever get the chance to find. But what makes the 1974 Roosevelt dime from a proof set so incredibly valuable? First, it's important to understand the quality of these proof coins. Proof coins, by their very nature, are struck with higher precision and quality than regular circulating coins. They're crafted with special dies, and the minting process is designed to produce a flawless finish with sharp details and a reflective surface. This attention to detail gives proof coins a distinct look and feel that's highly sought after in the numismatic world. Second, the 1974 Roosevelt dime, like all proof coins, was produced in limited quantities. The U.S. Mint created a specific number of proof sets, and once those sets were sold, no more were made. While millions of dimes were struck for regular circulation, proof coins were designed to be part of a collector's set, not for everyday use. Because of this, the number of high-quality 1974 dimes that remain today is much smaller than you might expect, making it a rare find for collectors. Now, let's get into the specifics of how much you could expect to earn if you have a 1974 Roosevelt dime from a proof set in good condition. If the coin has been well preserved and graded by a professional service like NGC or PCGS, it can easily fetch prices between $20,000 and $33,000. That's right, a dime worth just 10 cents when it was first minted could now be worth tens of thousands of dollars. But, of course, condition matters. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A flawless, high-grade proof dime from 1974 can see prices skyrocket as collectors and investors compete to own it. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know if your 1974 Roosevelt dime is worth this kind of money? First, look at its condition. Is it shiny and almost perfect, with no signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration? Proof coins from the 1974 set typically have a mirror-like finish, and any imperfections can reduce their value significantly. If the coin looks as if it was just minted yesterday, you're on the right track. The next step is to have it graded by a professional grading service. These services evaluate the coin's condition based on strict criteria, and they can give you an official grade that will determine its value on the market. Of course, scarcity is another major factor. Not every 1974 Roosevelt dime is going to be worth $20,000 to $33,000. Coins that have been stored improperly or show signs of wear won't command the same high prices as pristine examples. The truth is, very few of these coins have survived in perfect condition, and that's what makes finding one so thrilling. If you happen to have a high-quality proof set, you could be sitting on a treasure trove of wealth. The demand for rare, high-quality coins is only increasing as the market for collectibles continues to expand. With the rise of coin investors and the increasing popularity of rare coin auctions, there has never been a better time to get into the world of numismatics. Coins like the 1974 Roosevelt dime from a proof set are not just investments. They're a chance to own a piece of American history that has real value. In conclusion, if you own a 1974 Roosevelt dime from a proof set, or if you come across one in your coin hunting adventures, don't let it slip through your fingers. These coins are far more than just 10-cent pieces. They're valuable artifacts that can command $20,000 to $33,000 in today's market. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer looking to make a serious investment, the 1974 Roosevelt dime is a coin you won't want to overlook. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more exciting insights into the world of rare coins. Who knows? Your next treasure might just be a 1974 Roosevelt dime, waiting for you to unlock its true value.